Hey YouTube, Ed here with Jack of all trades and welcome to another video. So today we are going to talk about the long lost and almost forgotten 250 3000 Savage cartridge. So with that, let's get right into the video. Okay, so like I said in the intro, we are going to talk about the 250 3000 Savage cartridge. But before we do, as per the usual, I got to ask you to go down and hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you ring that notification bell so you get notified of upcoming videos. And if you're liking what you see here on the channel, please let me know in the comments. And if there's anything you want to see me do, or if there's anything you want to see me talk about on the channel, let me know in those comments and I will certainly try to get it done. Additionally, you'll notice that in the description I have a P.O. box. If you want to send me a letter or anything like that, you certainly can use that P.O. box address in the description, and I will make sure I get you an honorable mention on my next videos. So in this day and age with all these new modern cartridges like the 6.5 Creedmoor, the 6mm ARC, 6.8 Western, things of that effect, these old vintage calibers like the 730 Waters, the 300 Savage, the 250 3000 Savage have all become extinct. And it's really truly a shame. In the race to create the most latest and greatest cartridge, all in an effort to sell more firearms and ammunition, calibers like the 250 3000 Savage are becoming a memory. In truth, if you were to take the 250 Savage and you were to give it just a little bit less case taper, it would be almost indistinguishable visibly from the 6.5 Creedmoor. Where it really truly lacks in comparison is in performance. So just a little history about the 250 3000 Savage. It was sired by the 30-06, as were many other cartridges. It was conceived of by Charles Newton in 1915, and it was designed to be chambered in the Model 99 Savage lever-action rifle. The 250 3000 Savage was actually the first American production cartridge to achieve the 3,000 feet per second milestone. And this was actually an amazing thing to a lot of American deer hunters who were used to the lumbering loads of the 30-30 Winchester and the 30-40 Craig. And at the time, it was thought that the lighter bullet and faster velocity would be the next greatest thing for American deer hunters. Although the 250 3000 Savage did have some shortcomings. For instance, the 87 grain bullet used by the 250 Savage to achieve the 3,000 feet per second milestone had a tendency to come apart due to its light construction and the velocity that it achieved. The lighter bullet also required the hunter to employ a higher level of precision in their shot placement in order to effectively kill deer-sized game. The problem around this cartridge revolves around the 1 in 14 rate of twist, which was inherent in the Model 99 Savage. The slow twist rate of the barrel had difficulty stabilizing the heavier bullets, and although at one point in time they did come up with a 100 grain load for the 250 Savage, it was right on the edge of stability due to the slow rate of twist. It wasn't until 1961 when the Model 99 Savage got an upgrade to a 1 in 10 rate of twist on its barrel. And at the same time, companies like Remington and Ruger were making rifles chambered in the 250 Savage using that same rate of twist. But by this time it was already too late to save the 250 Savage from its already waning reputation. Despite its standing and its shortcomings, the 250 Savage is still a really sweet little cartridge. It's inherently accurate, it's reasonably flat shooting out to medium ranges, has a low report, and its recoil treats your shoulder like mom's tender touch. Loaded with a 100 to 120 grain bullet, the 250 Savage is very much at home in the deer woods and is truly a joy to shoot. Sure, it's not as hot as the 243 and it doesn't have the ballistic coefficient of a 6.5 Creedmoor. It doesn't hit like a 308 or a 30-06, but it's still an excellent choice to take with you to deer camp. Newer rifles with a higher rate of twist and a chambering in this happy little round and loaded with hand loads with 100 and 120 grain bullets are sure to make pretty much any deer hunter successful in the woods. Nowadays, the problem is factory loaded ammunition. To my knowledge, there's only two companies still loading new ammunition for the 250 Savage, Remington and Hornady, though production runs are very limited, as are the options, in that only a 100 grain bullet is available. If you want something other than a 100 grain bullet, you're going to hand load for it. It is truly unfortunate that the 250 Savage is on its last breath and is basically only kept alive by those who have the time and the desire to hand load for their older rifles. And unless you commission a new custom firearm, you would be very hard pressed to find a new rifle chambered in 250 Savage. The upside is that if you're a hand loader, bullets and casings for the 250 Savage are readily available. And on top of that, the 250 Savage is not particularly picky on the powder you use in it. Hodgdon 414, Varget, IMR 4064, or 4895 are all perfectly at home in the 250 Savage case and will produce excellent results. My personal favorite load is a Hornady 117 grain interlock bullet backed up with 33 grains of H380, and it achieves velocities of right around 25 feet per second. Now, yes, this isn't quite as hot as some other loads, and it doesn't perform as good as some other loads, but that load has done very, very well for me, and I'm very happy with it. The case dimensions of the 250 Savage also make it very suitable for many types of platforms. I've seen the 250 Savage chambered in Ruger M77s, Remington Model 700 Classics, Winchester Model 70s, and even the Thompson Center Contender pistol, all chambered in 250 Savage. Whichever platform you use, you will not be disappointed with the 250 Savage chambering. So this is my dad's Model 99 Savage chambered in 250 3000, and this was the gun he hunted with until his last deer hunting season in 2013, which incidentally is the same year that he died. He's taken many deer with this rifle, but the most memorable one for me was when I was 12 years old. It was my first year deer hunting, and my dad and I, it was second weekend, we were walking an old logging trail on a forest road that we drive every year. And about a mile in, the logging trail opened up into a clear cut. And as soon as we got in there, I just happened to look over and I saw two does standing out in the cutting. I informed my dad, hey, there's two deer. And it literally took him 3 seconds. He leveled the rifle, squeezed off a shot just as the deer started to take to flight. And I literally saw the deer fall right out of mid-jump and end up disappearing behind a pile of brush. Now, I told Pop, I said, she's down. I saw you hit her, she's down. And he wasn't convinced, and I had to explain to him with much exuberance that I literally saw her fall out of the air. I know she's down, she's out there. So Dad walked out, and I gave him directions as to which way to go, as to where I saw the deer last. He got out to the spot, and then he waved me to follow. And sure enough, the deer was laying right there where I told him it was. Now, it was 150 steps from the logging trail to where the deer laid. And when we got there and inspected the doe, the bullet actually entered the backside of her neck right at the base of her skull. And at that point in time, my dad was the greatest rifleman walking the face of the earth, and he had to be using what is the best rifle ever made. 150 paces, headshot, that was a fact to a 12-year-old boy. And of course, my dad didn't do anything to discourage that line of thought. It was at that point in time that my love for the 250 3000 Savage was completely solidified. Now, I own several 250 3000 Savages, but this rifle, my dad's old Model 99 Savage, and this rifle, which is a sporterized 1903 Springfield chambered in 250 3000 Savage, are truly my two favorites. Now, this rifle I just got done this summer. I have not had an opportunity to deer hunt with it or christen it in the woods, if you will, but hopefully I can get that done this year. So it's a Model 1903 Springfield Action, which has got a lightweight pencil barrel installed on it, obviously chambered in 250 3000 Savage with a 1-in-9 rate of twist, so it does a really good job of stabilizing the bullets. It's been fitted with a full-length Mannlicher style walnut stock. It's got a Timney trigger installed in it. I went ahead and I bobbed the firing pins so I could reduce my lock time. I installed a side safety on it, and I had the bolt jeweled just to pretty it up a little bit. And to keep it period correct, I topped it off with a vintage Weaver K4 scope, which I found online and had never been installed on a rifle before. The only thing I had to do that was kind of strange was I had to go ahead and I had to install a block inside of the magazine well to accommodate the shorter 253,000 Savage round. So right now you might be asking yourself, Ed, why do we care? What's the point of this video? The point of this video is this. We have an almost uncountable number of options out there as far as calibers for various suitable purposes. What a lot of people don't understand is a lot of these new modern calibers attribute their roots to older vintage chamberings like the 253,000 Savage. Yes, a lot of these newer modern calibers and cartridges outperform these older vintage rounds, but don't forget that the fact that these older vintage rounds were perfectly suitable for doing exactly what they were intended to do, and that was to put meat in the freezer. Don't think that just because there's something new and modern out there that you have to run right out and buy it and think that it's going to be the cure-all for your next deer hunt, because it's probably really in truth not. You have to remember that older cartridges like the 30-30 Winchester, the 35 Remington, the 300 Savage, the 253,000 Savage have put more deer in the freezer than you can possibly imagine. And you also have to understand that most of the deer that are put in freezers are taken at distance of 150 yards or less, which really precludes the need for having a rifle that can shoot accurately out to 1,000 yards like the 6.5 Creedmoor. Yes, those cartridges are capable of putting shots on target accurately out to 1,000 yards, but I am more than willing to bet that 80 to 85% of the hunters out in the woods today are not capable of putting together a 1,000-yard shot and doing it effectively, myself included. So I guess until they come up with a cartridge that is guaranteed that I'm not going to miss my target, will guarantee that it's going to plant the deer exactly where it stands when I caress the trigger and field dresses it all with one fatal shot, the newest, latest, and greatest cartridge is not going to do much to impress me. So I guess the next time you're in a gun store and you see a rifle that catches your eye but it's not chambered in the latest and greatest chambering, make sure you don't overlook it, especially if ammunition is readily available for it. You have a smartphone in your hand, look it up, see if ammo is available, and if it is, it might be a really good fit for you in your next deer hunting expedition. With that, let's go ahead and wrap this video up. As always, if you like what you see here on the Jack of All Trades channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button down below. Hit me with those comments. Let me know what you like about this channel and what you want to see me do on this channel, and I will do my best to accommodate. This is Ed with Jack of All Trades. As always, thank you for stopping by. Thank you to my longtime subscribers. I really do appreciate the support. Have a safe and happy hunting season, and we will see you on the next video.